got this report recently from CatholicSay. This on a subject that is near and dear to me. Why we should care about the spike in women prisoners. Here's from July the 25th of this year. While there is talk about criminal justice reform in the U.S., something must also be done about a decades-long spike. Female inmates, experts, and members of Congress of both parties say. We talk a lot about racial disparities in our system, but for some odd reason, we're not really focused on women, and it's been to the detriment of public safety. Holly Harris, Executive Director, Justice Action Network, told CNA. Harris spoke at an event, Woman Unshackled, sponsored by Justice Action Network and the Brennan Center for Justice. It was held at the Museum in D.C. on July the 18th. His keynote addresses by Governor Mary Fallin of Oklahoma, speeches by members of Congress of both parties, Kamala Harris of California, Cory Booker of New Jersey, Sheila Jackson Lee of Texas, Doug Collins of Georgia, and Mia Love of Utah. If we, as a country, value life as much as we say we do, then we value all life, even those who have mistakes and went through the incarceration system. Representative CatholicSay in the morning welcome remarks. How can we justify a system that takes people who are survivors of trauma, survivors of abuse, and put on a survivor of sexual trauma in prison pipeline? Asked Senator Booker, who has said in his address that many women in prison have previously suffered from trauma, which may be triggered or exacerbated during their stay in prison. The U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops has addressed the rising numbers of women in their 2000 statement, the criminal justice reform, responsibility, rehabilitation, and restoration. The bishops say large increase of number of women in prison came largely as a result of tougher drug laws, and most women were incarcerated for non-violent offenses, and that an equal number had left children behind, often in foster care, as they enter prison. According to the Mirror Institute of Justice, the number of women behind bars have grown more with each decade, especially when the U.S. is compared with other countries on the issue. The research is currently dated and scarce. Elizabeth Swarvola of the Vera Institute said at the Women Unshackled event on Tuesday, with what information the organization has been able to study, the numbers are striking. Things get interesting. While fewer than 8,000 women were incarcerated in the U.S. in 1970, 110,000 were incarcerated in 2014. The Vera Institute reported, with the sharpest increase coming from small or mid-sized counties. In the U.S., 127 per 100,000 women per 100,000 people are incarcerated. In Canada, that rate is just 11 per 100,000. They make up the fastest growing segment of the prison population here, say. Most of them are mothers, and many, like the men in prison, suffer from drug issues, poverty, and mental illness, and racial minorities make up higher rates of the prison population than society. Many women, however, have suffered previous instances of trauma, which could be be exacerbated or triggered in prison. There reported that almost a third had experienced in PTSD in the past 12 months, and that 86% of women in prison have experienced sexual violence in their lifetime, along with 77% suffering from partner violence. 80% are also mothers, with some being a primary caretaker for their children, and they were reported. In many instances, Cynthia Berry of the Council for Court Excellence said, children are even told that their mother is incarcerated. If their mother is the primary caretaker, children may end up in the foster care system as a result, and mothers may not eventually be reunited with their children after they are released from prison. Most are in prison for low or nonviolent offenses. According to the latest available national data, that are now more than a decade old, Bureau reported 32% women in jail are there for property offenses, 29% drug offenses, and nearly 21% public order offenses. For the violent offenses, so some are serving sentences for violence committed against people who were violent with them, like women retaliating against abusive husbands and boyfriends. Why has there been a sharp increase? The number of women behind. Why has there been a sharp increase? Number of women behind bars. There is very little out there explaining why Swobola say from Bureau's findings at the very front end, policing practices have increasingly focus on low-level, non-violent offenses, like low-level drug possession and disorderly conduct. This would be the result of broken window type policing, based on the belief of smaller infractions or punishment that review greater infraction. Because there's a punitive approach to drug enforcement, she said. There are more women in the prison system. Yet once they land in prison, they face a sentence hard enough for men to cope with. But one is at least designated for men. Women they face greater threats of abuse and a more severe lack of privacy. Women are different from men. There is CNN, EWTN News. Their needs would be different. Or fortunately right now, women are entering conditions that are programmed for men. The result is that although time may help mimic prison, may help mimic or more hardened criminals, when they exit far more degraded and dejected. All these women have completely physically changed, Harris say. They are visually lacking self-confidence and staring at the floor. It's just clear they are emotionally and mentally devastated. They are more likely to be victimized in prison. For instance, while women accounted for only 30% local jail population between 2009 and 2011, 67% of victims of staff on inmate sexual victimization were women. As well as 27% inmate on inmate sexual victimization Bureau reported. Indoor indignities, male prison officers walk in their room while they are undressed, Senator Booker said. Practices common in prison like shackling and searching can really retrigger a lot of that trauma, Swallow will say. Also, women prisoners tend to be poor, which means they might less chance having their bail paid, or they might not be able to afford expenses in prison, basic health necessities, laundry, phone calls home. Some jails charging a per diem fee during their incarceration, Bureau report. Over $1,000 of criminal justice debt upon release. Prison can be incredibly destabilizing and disruptive to a woman's life, Swobo, let's say. Especially in cases of severely mentally ill woman. Cash bail and excessive fines and fees can trap women in the system, she said. What solution can be attempted for the problem of women in prisons? States and counties could begin to invest more in drug treatment and prevention The program ran law enforcement level said. A huge portion these county and community budgets go toward public safety, she said. And oftentimes it's 70-80%. Much of that portion is to corrections, she said. Other programs like diversion programs do not get resources, she said. Well, I think we really need to rethink how we are using our taxpayer dollars to fund the justice system. Oklahoma Governor Mary Fallin has said her state put too many women behind bars and working on decreasing number of the incarcerated. For many are nonviolent, low offender, or low offenders, there are alternatives that work better, she said, like drug and mental health courts and community-based treatment, diversion programs, supervision. Recidivism, large cause women in prison, yeah, roughly. No wonder why female prison population is spiking. Because we're not providing these women the tools that they'll need to successfully re-enter society. They're not equipped mentally, emotionally, they can't find jobs, they can't improve their education, they can't reconnect with their family, they can't get adequate housing, or for instance, CNA spoke with ex-convict Casey Irwin back in the convicted of bankrupt and drug-related job. I can't get a job, but it wasn't going to pay me any money. No one is ever going to move up. Irwin told CNA of her difficulty finding a job after and that paid her enough wages. Eventually, she was offered a managerial position fast food friend, but say that more opportunity must be available ex-con face a myriad of obstacles from employment to obtaining loans. Credit goes to Matt Hadro. I can give you my brief thoughts on that's going to be the thing Bobby's going to go through. She's been through sexual harassment, issues with her family, serious event. Either work at a dead-end job or he moves here in 2019. You know, he's working in one of these nightclubs. I'm going to be sad. This is not struggle they're going through as well. It's called don't jump to conclusion about she might be your mother in there, it might be your grandmother in prison, it might be your sister, your aunt, your daughter, your niece, cousin. Where? So, another someone in here, especially a relative, you have to learn how to go